Hey, all you awesome West Seaford students, Mr. Forson here. And funny, some of you may know me really well because you attended West Seaford last year. My kindergartner friends, you might be like, hey, I see that guy walking down the hall sometimes. And this year, I'm in a weird situation where I have a group of remote second graders, and I've been helping second grade during this time. And man, I have missed you. I have missed teaching you. I have missed being able to walk through life with you, teach you how to deal with your frustration and your anger, how to celebrate the good, how to show kindness. That's my motto. So it's been a struggle. And I am just so glad that I get to bring you your lesson today. So today we're going to be looking at a story that's called A Little Spot of Anxiety. It's a great book. As you see, I have some friends here behind me that are from the book that I drew for you. And we're going to talk about this friend named Anxiety, which is right here. He is a weird friend that he's really like, another word for anxiety would be worry and stress and maybe a little bit of frustration. And I thought, man, now that we're going back to 100% remote, I'm sure that there's some of you that have a lot of anxiety. Maybe you have felt comfortable coming to school for 2 days out of the 5 days. Maybe some of you have been able to come for 4 days out of the week. Maybe some of you have been at home doing 100% remote and you haven't had to worry about anybody interrupting your learning because you're only 100% remote. And now you're like, wait, this might disrupt everything because there might be some new friends joining your group. Maybe you've been in school and now you're expected to be on Zoom for those live sessions and you've not had to really learn that way. There could be a lot of anxiety. Maybe your family has been running around figuring out where are we going to put you, right? Like who are you going to stay with during this time with COVID? So there could be a lot of worry and anxieties, and I get that. I have a family and I have my own anxieties. Adults have their own worries and struggles. And I thought, man, this would be a great time to focus on that. And at the end of our lesson today, we're going to focus on anxiety and what that is and what worry is, and maybe a strategy to help us deal with that anxiety. And then at the end, you're going to have a chance to click on a link below this video on our website where you are going to go and record a Flipgrid. Now, many of you have used Flipgrid in your classroom, which is awesome because now you're going to be able to do it for me. We're going to all use the same username to get on there, so that information is below. And you will use that to get on Flipgrid, and you will record a short message answering 2 questions for me. The first question is going to be about what kind of anxiety do you have about being home for the 100% remote time? Maybe it doesn't have anything to do with school. Maybe it's something else. Or maybe you have some anxiety that's dealing with being at home and doing the 100% remote now. Maybe it's about your family. And the second part is, what strategy do you use to deal with your anxiety, with your frustration, with your worry? How do you deal with that? And there's so many strategies. There's not just one right strategy because every person has a different strategy that works better for them. So in our story today, you will discover that there is a strategy that is presented to you in our story that you could also use. And it deals with using your hand and just tracing your fingers and basically some motivational self-talk that is positive talk to yourself about you being able to do it. So sit back, relax. I would say grab the popcorn, but it might be early in the morning when you're doing this. But sit back, relax, and enjoy the reading of A Little Spot of Anxiety. A Little Spot of Anxiety, a story about calming your worries. The inside cover, A Little Spot of Anxiety. Hi, I'm a peaceful spot, and this gray spot is an anxiety spot. What is an anxiety spot? He looks worried. Your anxiety spot can show up when you are feeling worried, nervous, anxious, or scared. Anxiety is one of the many emotions we can experience every day. Other emotions are sadness and anger too. We all have these emotions inside us, but we feel the best when we are in our peaceful spot. Sadness, anger, and anxiety. Your anxiety spot makes you worry a lot, especially when you try new things. Remember when you first tried to play soccer? What if I'm bad at this? Or when you had to take a test? What if I fail? Every time your anxiety spot asks you, what if? Remember, you can always answer with, I can do this. That will help you change your anxiety spot to a peaceful spot, like me. It's okay to have a small anxiety spot because sometimes worrying protects you. But when your worries become too big or too many, it doesn't feel very good, and it can make you miss out on things that are fun and good for you. Sometimes when your anxiety begins to grow, it can cause a tummy ache, or it can make you start to sweat. This is your body telling you that you need to manage your anxiety spot quickly. Did you know there are things you can do that keep your anxiety spot from getting too big? Like making sure you are eating healthy and making sure you are getting plenty of rest. This will give your body enough energy to help prevent your anxiety spot from showing up. Music, drawing, and writing can help you express your worries through art instead of letting your anxiety spot grow. Sometimes you end up in a situation where your anxiety spot surprises you, and it can start growing really fast. But before you panic, I want to show you how to quickly shrink your anxiety spot. Okay, look at your hand. Now imagine 5 gray spots on your fingers and 1 green spot in your palm, just like this. Now with your pointer finger on your other hand, I want you to draw an imaginary line from one of your gray spots to the green spots on your palm and repeat after me. From the tip of my finger to the middle of my palm, I can do this, I can be calm. I'm going to read that again. From the tip of my finger to the middle of my palm, I can do this, I can be calm. And you repeat that for every finger. From the tip of my finger to the middle of my palm, I can do this, I can be calm. Imagine the worry of your gray spot, your anxiety spot, is traveling to the green spot, the peaceful spot, and becoming calm. Now for the second part. This worry grew too big and cannot stay. Take a deep breath and blow it away. Imagine yourself blowing the worry off of your gray spots. Now all you can see is a calm green spot. Taking slow, deep breaths is a great way to calm your anxiety spot. Now that it is not near you anymore, it can't make you worry. Okay, now that you have learned a way to calm your anxiety spot down, let's try it in situations where your anxiety spot surprised you. Like your first day of school. Being away from your parents or guardian can make you scared and anxious. Or meeting new people can make you worried that you won't fit in. This is a perfect time to practice our little trick. What if I don't fit in? What if you don't come back? From the tip of my finger to the middle of my palm, I can do this, I can be calm. This worry grew too big and cannot stay. Take a deep breath and blow it away. I can do this. I will see you later. Or when you showed up to a party and your anxiety spot came with you. What if they don't like me? Sometimes it's hard to be around new people, but worrying only makes your anxiety spot grow. Instead, practice our little trick. From the tip of my finger to the middle of my palm, I can do this, I can be calm. This worry grew too big and cannot stay. Take a deep breath and blow it away. I can do this. This party is fun. The more times that you can shrink your anxiety spot down, the stronger your peaceful spot becomes. Celebrate when you are able to shrink down your own anxiety spot. Use that confidence to help you in new situations where your anxiety spot shows up. If you need some help, just remember our little trick. From the tip of my finger to the middle of my palm, I can do this, I can be calm. This worry grew too big and cannot stay. Take a deep breath and blow it away. So like the book said, from the tip of my finger to the middle of my palm, I can do this, I can be calm. So what they want you to do is, I use little snowflakes as an example, but your worries, your anxiety, are those gray circles on the tips of your finger. And what they want you to do is to just trace your finger to the middle of your palm and to repeat that sentence. Or if you can't remember, you just say, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And it's a representation of showing that anxiety moving. So I'm going to do it while moving the snowflake so you can see it. If you can't remember from the tip of my finger to the middle of my palm, I can do this, I can be calm. Maybe you can just say, I can do this, I can be calm. 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 And then you can blow it away. Awesome. So in that book, I know I use my fingers, I use snowflakes. Not the same thing that we probably need to use. But what I do want to show you is, if you're really using your hand, what you would be doing is you'd be saying, from the tip of my finger to the middle of my palm. From the tip of my finger to the middle of my palm. I can do this, I can be calm. From the tip of my finger to the middle of my palm. I can do this, I can be calm. If you can't remember that, just be like, I can do this, stay calm. I can do this, stay calm. What you're doing is you're tricking your brain. You're tricking your brain into forgetting what is making you so anxious and worried. And then you can move on and you can do whatever task it is you've been asked. Now, what I know about being anxious and worried and frustrated is it can keep us from doing things that are good for us. Now, some anxiety is good, like it keeps us from running across the road. We're worried about getting hit by a car, so we look both ways. That's good worry. But there's some anxiety, like worrying about how I'm going to get my work done, or my mom and dad are arguing, or I don't know where I'm going to sleep tonight, or I don't know what I'm going to eat, or I don't know how to do that math problem, or I have to go stay at my grandma's house or my grandpa's house because my mom and dad have to go to work, and maybe I don't like going there. So there's a lot of things we could be worried about. But having that worry can overwhelm us, and it can keep us from trying our best. It can keep us from being happy. It can keep us from going outside and playing. It can keep us from, doing our best on our work for school. It can keep us from being able to think clearly when we do our work for school. So we want to have a way to calm down, to forget about those worries. Some of you might share that you like playing with Legos. That's a way to calm your mind and to get rid of those worries. Maybe it's to just do deep breathing. Do some meditation like we did last year in the beginning of each of our classes. Maybe it's drawing a picture or writing. Maybe it's looking at old family photos. There are so many things that you could use as a strategy to make your worries go away, to let your anxiety melt away. But one way is to blow those anxieties away, right? To this worry grew too big, it cannot stay. Take a deep breath and blow it away. Right? So we're getting rid of those worries. So what I would love for you to do is, below this video, there's going to be a link to Flipgrid. Remember, you're going to follow those directions and you're going to type in West, W-E-S-T, like West Seaford, West. You're going to type that in as your username. And when you go in, there's going to be a video of me reading your questions to you. And you can even click the little blue circle that looks like a book. If you click it, the computer will read it to you. And then click the big red add a response and record a video. You can add a border, you can add a text box. I just ask that it's appropriate. It relates to our topic, right? We're not just doing silly, frilly things just for the fun of it. And then you are answering the questions, and then I can see your face, right? It has to be a video of you in a space where there's nothing behind you, nobody being silly behind you, just you. And let that be a chance for you to be able to share what you're anxious about with 100% remote learning and what you can do to calm yourself down. Now, I hope you know that as we're getting closer to winter break, there's a lot of things that can make us anxious and worried. And us teachers here at West Seaford, we want to be with you. We want to have school open. But we also know that it's important that we do what's best to keep everybody safe. So remember, wear your mask, Make sure that you're social distancing. Make sure you're wiping things down when you go to the grocery store and stuff. Make sure you're being mindful about that, so that we can get our schools back open and get back here, because we want to be with you. And if no one has told you today, no one's told you this week, I want you to know that I love you. I care about you. I don't love you the same way I love my own kids, but I love you. I care about you. I want the best for you. And I hope that you enjoy the rest during the winter break, that you enjoy the time away from computers and games, and you just play outside or run around the house, play with cars and figurines and other things, draw, and stay off that technology so you can rest your brain from all that we've been overwhelmed with during this remote time. So I hope you have a great break. I can't wait to be back and seeing all those smiling faces underneath your masks. Have a great break.